This is Shubham, and in this video, we will learn some Power Query tips in Microsoft Excel. So let's start. So Power Query in the latest version is available in the Data tab, and this is called Get and Transform Data, where you can use the Power Query tool. We will be exploring some tips and tricks regarding data cleanup. But before that, what is Power Query? Power Query is an ETL tool which transform and clean the data and also automate it. So if you might come across these kind of situation where you want to split certain columns based on the delimiters, remove duplicates and unpivoting the data formatting of dates and number. The normally Excel user uses a formula of functions, right? But in Power Query, we can just use the interface where all the steps can be recorded and it will be automated for the next time and the data gets opened. It will automatically update just by clicking a refresh button. So let's get started how to get the data in Power Query editor and what it can do. Let's explore first. So I will bring the data to the Power Query. So the first condition is to make your normal range into your table format. So my data is already in table format, and in the data tab, I will click on from table or range. So after a few seconds, it will open up in Power Query editor window. Okay, so this is the Power Query editor window in Microsoft Excel latest version. So what we can explore first is like we have every column has a data type, and to change the data type you can just click on the buttons which is on the top left side of each of the header, and from here you can select the correct data type, right? So if you want to convert, like for example for the dates you don't want the time here, so I will click on this a small icon and I will then click on the date and I will click on replace current. Whatever the steps you will be applying here on the data transformation will be recorded here. Remember that Power Query accept the case sensitive language, and the language which is Power Query understand is M language. Let's say if you want to see the code, you can just go to the home tab, click on advanced editor and it will show up the language. Okay. The next thing is that how to move a certain column to, so just click on that column and slowly drag through the right words. Okay. It will drag the column to the new position. How to rename a column? Just double click and give a new name. Sales representative and press the enter key. How to delete a column? Just right click and click on the remove from this contextual menu. How to make a duplicate column? Right click and click on duplicate column to make one more new column. Once you do all the transformation, it is recorded and also automated. Once you are done with all the transformation, just click on close and load button. If you click on close and load to, it will pop up a window. So if your data contains more than 1 million rows, what you can do is click on only create connection and also check mark. Add this data to the data model. What it will do is it will bring or shift all the data to the Power Pivot where you have unlimited number of rows data can be stored. So for example, how this option can be used in scenario. For example, if you have so many workbooks in a folder and each of the workbook contains 1 million of rows. So if you have 10 workbooks, you have 10 millions of rows, which is impossible to see in one worksheet in Excel. So in that particular case, you use this kind of a feature where you append the data and move the data to the data model in order to create a Power Pivot. And in the Power Pivot, we use data analysis expressions just like we use in Excel formulas and functions, right? So I will cancel that. So a connection has been created. Okay, next we have a data where we have some unnecessary rows at the top And then we have ID, date and time column. So first let me select the entire data and I will go to the insert tab and I will make it converting into as a table. Now it is very not neat and clean as we want because we don't want these things. We just want the headers and then the data. So we do the cleanup. So how we gonna clean up the data from the table and range so that the data will open in Power Query Editor? Okay. So first we want to remove these first three top rows. So for doing that, I will click on the remove rows and I will click on remove top rows. So it will open a window and here we will write 3. The next part is that I want to make this first row as my headers. So we have that option available. Use first row as headers. So now my headers are corrected. Important thing to note that the date format is not correct because in the slash format we use generally month at the beginning and in the middle, whereas this is vice versa. So what we are required to do also, the time is not correct. It is coming up in decimals. So let's correct the time first, replace current and then let's correct the date. So we will not select date directly from here because we need to change the local settings. So I will click on using local and it will open up an upper window where first we will select a date and then in the English category we will select India and press OK. So now our days are on the right side and we will click on close and load. So when we click on close and load, it is open up a new worksheet and our transform data is ready to use, right? Next, we have one more query which is offer related to URLs. In this particular scenario, we are required to split main categories and the subcategories like this. So if you observe all these links, you will see generally two main categories are there, food and color, and their respective subcategories. So how we are going to split that? Let's bring that data into the Power Query. So we will go to the data tab, get in transform data, and we will click on the format table or range. We have other options as well where we can import the data like from the text or CSV file from the website, or we can get data from file and we can also get data from PDF file as well or JSON file, SharePoint folder or from a folder, right? So we have a lot of connectors are available. Even we have Azure different connectors available. Okay, so let's bring that data into the Power Query editor. So for that, I will click on from the table or range and a Power Query editor window will appear. Now, what we are required to do is to split and the command key or delimiter, you can say is a slash for which we will make it a base and we will split our data. Now for doing that, just right click from this contextual menu, go to split column, click on by delimiter. Now select custom and type slash and select rightmost delimiter. So it will split the subcategories. Now again do the same action, split column by delimiter, rightmost column and slash. Okay, so we are done now. Just need to have a few more steps for the cleanup. We don't need this first column. Just right click, click on remove. We don't need this URL as well. So we will open this filter menu and uncheck. So it will exclude all those links. Once we are done with the transformation, click on close and load. So it will insert a new sheet where we have all the transformed data. The best part is that if I add one more URL, for example, let me give you a demo. And this time I will write Shubham here. Oh no, that will not pick because food and colors has been picked. Food, and let me write my name Shugam here. Okay. So I have added one link, and if I go to the table 13 downwards, so you can see there is no entry which I have just added in the transform data. So for updating, we will go to data and click on refresh, and it has been added, right? So that's the beauty of Power Query. Whatever the steps you do in the Power Query editor regarding the data cleanup and transformation, all those have been automated, and that will update by clicking on refresh button. Next, we have one more data and we need to split that data. So we have some items, numbers on the left side, the name of the item on the center, and this size on the right side. And we are going to do that again. We will go to data from the table and range and click and right click. So we will go to split column by delimiter. This time the delimiter is the space because the space is the common key from which we can split our required data. So we will select the space first leftmost delimiter. So we got item numbers and then again right click split column by delimiter. This time rightmost delimiter. That's it. And close and load. So imagine that if you are an Excel user and you are using formulas and functions, it will take a lot of time in cleaning up this kind of data. But in Power Query, it is just a matter of seconds if you have learned the right tools in the right way. And okay, so the next technique is how to remove the duplicates or errors. So let us bring that data into the Power Query editor, okay? Now, first of all, we don't need this particular row. So let us bring that data into the Power Query editor, okay? Now, first of all, we don't need this particular row. But first, let us define the data type of this column. So I will click on a small icon on the top left side of the header and I will say that convert this into whole number. Because it was written Belgium here, now it is giving me an error and I want to exclude the error, so I cannot pick or exclude the error from this drop down menu. What I need to do is I will go to remove rows, and from here we have an option called remove errors. So that entry has been removed. Next is we need to replace this error and write 0 because the entry, the row is being correctly entered, but there is no amount. So we will select this column and we will go to transform data in the replace value. We have an option called replace errors. So it will open up a window and instead of errors, we just want a 0 here. So I added a 0. Once we are done with the transformation, we will close in Dode and it will open a new sheet where we have the transformed data, right? Another thing is that if you can observe that we have the order ID 10248, which is basically duplicate. But if I remove this particular row in a Power Query, it will not. If I select this, if I select the ship country, because the France in the second entry is case sensitive. So Power Query understand case sensitive thing. But if I select only order ID, it will remove that one entry from this data set. But if I select the order ID column and the ship country in the Power Query, it will definitely reach the case sensitive as well. So remember that. Alright, moving towards the next technique and pivoting the data. So there are generally two kinds of data types or data structure. You can see when we bring that data into Power Query, Power BI, or we want to do some analysis in Excel tabular data and non-tabular data. So the data you are seeing on the screen is a non-tabular data, whereas we want to convert this non-tabular data into the tabular format. So for doing that, we want to do an unpivoting. Now, how to do that? We will go to data and we will click on from the date table or range. It will open up an Power Query editor. Now for doing that, how? We select January, from January till December by pressing the shift key, and you will go to transform and click on unpivot columns. That's it. Now non-tabular data has been converted into tablet format, and then click on close and load. The last technique of this video is regarding Power Query. As you can see and observe here in the data format is not correct, and also the amounts. Sometimes it happens when you extract the data from SAP, Oracle, or any other ERP application. The formats of the dates and the total are not correct. So how to correct that? Definitely we will bring this data into Power Query, and let us transform the data. So first we will select the date format, click on replace current, and the amount is already being correctly formatted and they are on the right side. Once we are done, click on close and load. So see how super cool this feature is. If you learn Power Query in the right way, you can save your time, increase your efficiency, plus automate the things you can do on daily or weekly or even monthly basis. So I hope you like this video, like these techniques, and you will do practice. Okay, thank you.